about the legendary, the American icon, the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and the day that now in America bears his name. And the MLK Day of Service are our friends from Sanctuary, the director of the AmeriCorps program, Edward Mesa of Sanctuary AmeriCorps, and Charlene Masibuemai of UOG AmeriCorps. Half a day, guys.
Half a day.
Half a day.
All right, thank you so much for joining me. This is something, of course, to honor Dr. King, that we do every year. First of all, how do we actually make sure that his teachings, his philosophy, the lessons that he taught us, how do we make sure that those are preserved over time?
So with Serve Guam and all of the AmeriCorps programs on Guam, we every day, our 9 to 5, so to speak, is giving back to the community, service in the community, whether it's through our focus areas in education, environmental stewardship, and others, but also during the pandemic, if you got vaccinated at the field house, 9 out of 10 times that was probably an AmeriCorps member who did your pre-screening. And so that's how, and then MLK is about, one of his greatest quotes was, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. And so when we're coming up on this holiday, it's a day off. It's a day off for government, for everybody, but it's just a reminder to everybody that it's a day off, but it's actually a day on. So pick that day to give back to your community.
I like that.
Whether it's to your neighbor, elderly neighbor who maybe needs help cutting the grass, or with your mayor's office to help do something that needs to be done in the community, whether it's beautification or revitalizing a building that's run down or whatever it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ed, certainly not a day off for those of you who work at AmeriCorps, because you guys are working really, really hard to make sure that Dr. King's legacy is honored here in the island. And I would probably say because what we believe as Guamanians, right?
Yes.
Like, not necessarily like Chamorro, but anybody that calls this wonderful island our home is giving back and making sure that, that we've got the blessings that we have, that we can help our fellow.
Yes.
Yeah, so in your opinion, how do we make sure that, and what's being done as far as activities to honor Dr. King?
Well, just started off with the actual event that will be on next week, Monday, January 16th. Our MLK National Service event is at the Micronesia Mall Center Court from 11 to 3. So at 11 o'clock, it kicks off with the governor and the lieutenant governor doing the proclamation signing. Then right after is the legislative resolution. And then we have some guest speakers that will be doing speeches, who will be talking about the importance of MLK. And then that usually will run maybe about an hour long. And then we go right into our community outreach event where we will have all the Guam AmeriCorps programs and other community organizations that will be talking about their programs and how people can get involved with their organization.
Mm-hmm. A lot of, Charlene, what happens with a lot of Dr. King Day's festivities are reaching out to youth and making sure that, it happens in schools, and you always see, there are poster contests, I know, and essay contests and whatnot. Have you guys been out to the actual schools ahead of MLK Day?
So this week, actually, we're heading out to a couple of elementary schools, and we're trying to connect with Ukadu High School to kind of, go over who is MLK first of all. And
that'd be good because you get the Ukadu
yes.
and the FB communities
yes.
at the same time because they're both there.
Yes, so we're that's this week. We have what schools are you going to, Mr.
Yeah,
Ed?
so we're going to Ontalon, I know that, BMS, MU Lujan, Talafofa Elementary School. So we'll be doing school presentations pretty much this whole week. Mm-hmm. And then Saturday is our second Saturday of the month where we do a community project out there. So, yeah.
Mm. When you think and when you reflect on what Dr. King said and the impact he had and the way that his words continue to resonate to this day,
mm-hmm.
and that was like back in the 60s, right?
Right.
The early 60s.
Right.
How strong of a bearing does it have on you? And because the world's such a crazy place today,
mm-hmm.
We had the pandemic, there's all this geopolitical stuff going on and everything. What lessons can we take away in addition to service, still
mm-hmm.
that, let us drive home, what he believed in?
I think it's also rooted in our culture, right? So it's not a every man for himself type deal. It's like when you're going to do something, when something needs to be done, you don't just think about yourself. You have to take others with you in your community and
mm-hmm.
uplift together, because that's how we can continue to strive and move on is if we work together. The impact is bigger when you work as a community to get things done.
Yeah, my grandfather on my dad's side always told me, he's like, if you take 2 scoops of rice and everything, and somebody comes along, he's like, you have the other one. He's like, you always make sure that if you have the opportunity to help somebody, that you seize that opportunity.
Right.
Okay, how can people get in touch with you guys, Ed, if they feel, because about giving back, I'm sure you guys need help to get the word out and to conduct all these activities, because you guys got a busy day.
Yeah, sure. So, for more information about MLK event on Monday, they can just contact me. My number is 671-687-7194, or they can email me at emesa@AmeriCorpsGuam.org.
Yeah. And what is working for AmeriCorps, and having that solid grounding and that foundation of service to the community and being stewards of what we believe in? What does that mean to each of you?
What does that mean to me? My goodness. So I was mentioning last week that when I was younger, I didn't know that this is what I wanted to do when I grew up, right? Just the giving back aspect of the community. And when we were in the middle of a pandemic and we were trying to recruit AmeriCorps members to join our program, we thought it was going to be difficult because nobody wants to leave their homes. Nobody, we're locked down and everything. But when we send the word out that we need AmeriCorps members to help us to serve the community, the response that we got was, I couldn't believe that, people want to volunteer, want to give back to the community. They just don't know who to contact, where do you go, who do you talk to say, hey, I want to help here, how do I do this? And so just being out there and being kind of the middleman for the youth to give back to their community and exposing them to all of these things that they wouldn't have been exposed to if they were just if they didn't have the opportunity to join the AmeriCorps program. Well, it's just rewarding.
Let me ask you, Ed, because there may be some people watching this right now, even young people, even maybe more mature people that said, I want to contribute. This island's been very, very good to me, but I don't know if I have the right skill set. I was never in student government. I don't, like me, I don't consider myself to be a leader. I don't know if I've got what it takes to be an effective volunteer. What would you say to those people to inspire them?
You just have to go out and do it. Just doesn't matter how big or how small. Just go out, serve your community in whatever way you want to serve. Yeah.
I think Charlene said it best. It's when MLK Day is here and everything, if you happen to be mowing your own lawn, mow your neighbors too.
Yep.
If they're cool with it.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's even things as simple as that, right? Or if you see your neighbor mowing their lawn, bring them over, some water or something like that. So it doesn't have to be some big grand production and everything like that. Service can start at a very small level and still have a huge impact. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so Ed, final words on what MLK is going to mean for our island community and our island family.
I mean, MLK means so much, and it's important that we invite everybody and anybody on next week, Monday, to come out and, listen to the guest speakers, see what our AmeriCorps program have to offer to the community and how they can get involved with AmeriCorps. Every year, every single day, 365 days in a year, we are constantly recruiting volunteers and AmeriCorps members. So please come out, join our event, ask questions, get involved.
All right, because when you volunteer, you practice Inafa Maulik. That's something that each and every one of us believe. We take care of our neighbors, we take care of, because we're all family here. So Charlene and Ed, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you on the road.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll try and catch up with you guys because you guys will be all over the place, but we'll be there too.
All right.
All right, please stay tuned because we are talking to Melanie Brennan, the Director of the Department of Youth Affairs, about programs that the agency oversees when we come back right here in the hotspot.